The airport in Chicago was a storm of motion on that rainy Thursday afternoon. Travelers rushed past gates, announcements crackled overhead, and the scent of overpriced coffee hung in the air. Mark Reynolds, 34, pushed his 6-year-old daughter Lily's wheelchair through the crowded terminal. Lily, born deaf after a difficult birth that had taken her mother away forever, clutched her favorite stuffed rabbit. Mark had taught himself American Sign Language, ASL, in the months after her diagnosis, night after night with YouTube tutorials and library books, because he refused to let the world silence her. They were heading home to a small town in Ohio after visiting specialists in the city. Mark was exhausted. His construction job barely covered the medical bills, the wheelchair repairs, and Lily's speech therapy. But he smiled down at her, signing, "Hungry? Pretzel, Lily nodded enthusiastically, her eyes bright. At the customer service desk near gate C12, a woman in her late 50s stood waving her boarding pass. She was elegantly dressed in a navy coat, silver hair pulled into a neat bun, but her face was flushed with frustration. The airline agent behind the counter kept repeating, louder each time, "Ma'am, I need to see your ID again." The woman shook her head, gesturing rapidly with her hands. No one around seemed to notice, or care. People shuffled past, eyes on phones. Mark paused. He recognized the signs instantly, "Help. Flight. Delayed. Where? Lily tugged his sleeve and pointed. "Grandma sad," she signed. Mark hesitated. They had a tight connection themselves. But something in the woman's desperate expression reminded him of the countless times he'd watched people look through Lily like she was invisible. He wheeled Lily closer. "Excuse me," he said to the agent, then turned to the woman and lifted his hands. Slowly, clearly, he signed, "Hello. Can I help? The woman's eyes widened. Relief flooded her face. She signed back quickly, "Yes. They say my flight is changed. I don't understand the gate. My daughter is waiting in New York, Mark nodded, processing. He turned to the agent. "She's deaf. The gate was changed, can you write it down or show me on the screen?" The agent blinked, suddenly flustered. "Oh, I didn't realize. It's gate C18 now. Boarding in 15. Mark relayed the information in sign language, adding, "Do you need help to the gate? My daughter and I are going that way, The woman, her name, he soon learned, was Elena Vasquez, smiled warmly for the first time. "Thank you. You're kind. Most people ignore, It's nothing," Mark signed. My daughter is deaf too. I learned for her, Elena looked at Lily, who waved shyly. Elena's hands moved gently, "Hello, beautiful girl. What's your name, Lily beamed. Lily. This is Daddy, They walked together toward the new gate. Elena moved slowly, leaning on a cane Mark hadn't noticed before. She explained she was visiting her daughter for the first time in months. "My daughter works very hard," she signed. "Big company. She sends me tickets, but airports are hard for me alone." Mark nodded. "I get it. Travel is tough even without challenges." At the gate, they sat. Lily pulled out crayons and began drawing a picture of the three of them holding hands. Elena watched, enchanted. She signed to Mark, "Your daughter is talented. You are a good father, Mark shrugged. "I try. It's just us." Elena touched his arm. Kindness is rare. You gave me mine today, The boarding call came. Elena stood. Thank you again. Safe travels, Mark helped her to the priority line. As she turned to wave goodbye, Lily ran forward, rolled fast, and hugged Elena's legs. Elena bent down, kissed the top of her head, and signed, "I won't forget you." Then she was gone down the jetway. Mark didn't think much more of it. Life went back to normal: work, school drop-offs, doctor appointments. 2 weeks later, though, a sleek black SUV pulled up outside their modest ranch house on Maple Street. A woman in a tailored gray suit stepped out, tall, poised, dark hair in a sharp bob, carrying an air of someone used to boardrooms. She knocked. Mark opened the door, wiping his hands on a dish towel. "Can I help you?" The woman extended her hand. "I'm Sofia Vasquez, CEO of Vasquez Global. My mother is Elena." Mark froze. Vasquez Global, the tech conglomerate that made half the smart devices in the world. He'd seen the name on billboards. Sofia smiled faintly. "May I come in?" Inside, Lily peeked from the hallway. Sofia's eyes softened when she saw her. "Hello, Lily. My mother told me all about you." Elena had apparently recounted the airport story in detail, how a tired single dad had stopped everything to help a stranger, how he'd communicated without hesitation, how his little girl had drawn her a picture she now kept framed in her apartment. Sofia sat on their worn couch. "My mother is deaf. She's been that way since childhood. I grew up interpreting for her, but my job, it keeps me away. I feel guilty every time she travels alone. That day at the airport, she told me no one would help. Until you." Mark rubbed the back of his neck. "It was just common decency." "Not to most people," Sofia said. "Mom said you learned ASL for your daughter. That touched her deeply. She hasn't stopped talking about you both." Lily brought her drawing pad and showed Sofia a new picture of Elena, Mark, and herself at the airport. Sofia laughed softly. "She looks happy here." They talked for an hour. Sofia asked about Lily's needs, the therapies, the equipment, the waiting lists. Mark answered honestly, money was tight. Specialists were expensive. He'd been saving for a better hearing aid that might help Lily with residual hearing. Sofia listened without interruption. Then she said, "I want to help. Not charity, partnership. My company has a foundation for accessibility tech. We're developing new cochlear implants and communication apps. Lily could be part of our beta testing. Full coverage for her care, travel to our labs if needed. And for you, a job. We need people with real-world experience in our inclusive design team. Your perspective as a single dad and ASL user would be invaluable." Mark stared. I'm just a carpenter." "Exactly," Sofia said. "We have enough suits. We need people who understand." Elena arrived the next week. She stayed for dinner, homemade lasagna, nothing fancy. Lily sat between them, signing excitedly. Elena taught Sofia a few new signs she'd learned from Lily. Laughter filled the small house for the first time in years. Months later, Mark started at Vasquez Global, not in construction, but in user experience for accessibility. The salary changed everything, no more choosing between groceries and therapy. Lily got the latest assistive tech, and her confidence soared. But the real gift was connection. Elena became abuela to Lily. Sofia, once distant and work-obsessed, visited often. She learned more ASL, sat on the floor to play with Lily, and even took Mark and Lily to New York for a weekend, first time either had left the Midwest. One evening, as snow fell outside, they all sat around the fireplace. Elena signed to Mark, *, "You helped a stranger. But you changed our family, *. Sofia translated aloud for Lily, who giggled. Mark looked at them, his daughter laughing, Elena smiling. Sofia relaxed for once, and signed back, *, "No. You all changed mine, *. Kindness, he realized, wasn't a one-way street. Sometimes it circled back in ways no one could predict, turning strangers into family, struggles into hope, and a single moment at a crowded airport into a lifetime of belonging.